So I'm Catherine, I live in Bristol. I have two little boys. I've tried lots of jobs before coaching of all different types. So two of my favourite jobs before coaching would being a TA at a special needs school. Really, really love that. And working in a bar that was completely made out of ice. I think what put me into coaching was that I'd looked into a lot of various roles because I knew I wanted to get into something more kind of therapeutic, I guess, than I'd been doing before. And I'd done taster sessions and kind of introductory courses in counselling and play therapy and looked at art therapy and all of these types of things, but didn't feel like it quite fitted. Or didn't quite tick all the boxes for me, I guess, even when I was being told that I was quite good at them. And then I read a blog that a friend's wife had put on Facebook that explained what her coaching was. And it just all kind of, it was quite an amazing moment. I was just like, oh, that's what I'm going to be doing. Couldn't quite believe it and had not heard about it properly before that point. So then I just started looking into how to train to be a coach from there. So before I got to Destiny Coaching, I had some really excellent coaching training about 3.5 years ago. Wanted that to be my main thing, but kind of had two other jobs on the go and very small children. So it was always the easiest thing to put aside. And when I picked it back up again, realised that although I'd been set up very well, kind of training and support wise as a coach, I was just having so many sessions where I was like, oh, this is something kind of big, or that we really want to see breakthrough in soon, and I don't think we're going to see that in a human way. So how do we get God involved more in this? That's not something that I was taught to do previously. So I'd kind of had my eye on Destiny Coaching from what you were doing online, and had bumped into a few people who had done training with you. But at that point thought that I would need to start at square one, that it might not be relevant to me as a coach who was already trained in a way. So I just kind of kept watching you and then realised that actually there was a load of relevant stuff to me, and that it was something that really could transform all the sessions that I was doing with people. So the first course that I tried was Kingdom Identity, which was an advanced coaching course for people already trained. And I got a few people to agree, kind of be my practice people. And it was just quite incredible. A couple of those people were also trained coaches. And as soon as we started doing it, they were like, oh gosh, Destiny Coaching have really got something here. Like, why have we not heard about this before? And I just found it really amazing. Before, if something felt like it was a really difficult or kind of emotional or something where the person just felt really hopeless themselves, I would start putting more pressure on myself to do a better job, which is really silly because it's not what I'm meant to be doing at all. Or I wouldn't know how to suggest to them to bring God into it without it feeling like I was giving advice or direction, which wouldn't have felt like a kind of thing that I should be doing as a coach either. It was just so natural the way that Destiny teaches you to do that, and people were instantly moving forwards and getting answers and seeing change. So I've been primarily coaching Christians, and as we start the session, I would introduce the idea that we would be including God, that asking God questions within our coaching session would be quite a key part of what we would be doing, so they weren't surprised by that. And I think the main thing is me staying confident that they're going to hear from God, because he's waiting to talk to them, even if they're looking at me like, what, we're asking him a question now, like what's happening? I'm like, we're going to ask him now. Obviously everyone's really up for that because they know it's going to change something. And then recently I've started coaching a couple of people who don't have any kind of church background, and I can see how it would definitely work for them as well. I'm just still at the point where I'm navigating that, and I've only had one session kind of with each of them, so we're just kind of sussing things out. But I'm excited to see how it can help them as well. I think it definitely can work for people who are Christians and who aren't Christians. So I think the main shift from how I was coaching before doing the coaching kind of Kingdom Identity Advanced course to now is that I almost straight away ask the coachee if they want to invite God into the conversation, or as soon as we get to a point where they're like, oh, I don't know, I just don't know, or I don't understand about this area of life, or who am I? Don't even know how to start answering that question. will just immediately direct that question to God, and it just gets deep and exciting really fast. Because I think even if someone's come to you with a question that doesn't seem related to identity, pretty much every conversation I have, it boils down to who am I and what on earth am I doing here? So we end up back at the identity and purpose question anyway, and it's just really exciting to see how the tools that you've taught me, how Destiny Coaching have taught me to just help people find those answers without going around in circles and feeling stuck for ages. Acted as an accelerant on my coaching. I think before I was feeling like I might need to put a bit of pressure on myself to be a better coach or to know answers, even though I never need to know answers because it's not meant to be about me. Whereas this way, I walk into the room completely confident that something's going to happen anyway, because God's going to be in charge of it and he's ready to give us the answers. Even I coached someone after like a full day's theology training the other day, and they were like, what on earth are you doing here? Are you not completely fried? And I was like, well, no, because I don't have to do anything, do I? I'm just here and we'll see what God does next. That's fine. So after doing the coaching identity course, I was kind of frustrated with myself actually, I guess. I hadn't done that sooner and quite amazed on what it opens up for people. And so I was just really keen to find out more and how much more this could add to my coaching and, you know, the people's lives that I'm meeting and doing coaching with. And so I had a chat with Tina to see what else Destiny Coaching offered, and realised that the 12-month online course would actually be completely relevant to me, even though it's also open to people who have no experience in coaching. So I've completed phase 1 already, and although there's been some things that are not new to me, because I've already been trained as a coach, so some of the teaching would be things that I already know. Just the extra element of inviting the Holy Spirit into everything obviously is very new to how I would be facilitating a session. And then we have fortnightly calls, group calls on Zoom, and those, as part of the course have just been completely amazing, because I do believe that the practical side of things and getting feedback and talking it through with people is almost more important than the theory anyway. So just seeing what other people are doing and getting to practice things with people, it's been really amazing. So phase 1 so far has given me more insight into what I'm doing while coaches are answering questions or doing the thinking. So I'm much more plugged in to the Holy Spirit while I'm not talking. And then I think I'm a lot more confident in letting Holy Spirit lead me on the questions to ask next as well, which I was aware of before, but I think was just not paying enough attention to. And just being more confident that actually this is what people want anyway. It's not something that I'm going to have to persuade them to do or feel like might be a bit weird for some people who aren't listening to God regularly anyway, but that just a guaranteed way to improve how your life is going, isn't it? Just to learn to listen to God more and direct all your questions to him. So if you're considering doing some training with Destiny Coaching, I think you get a good foundation of what coaching is in general and tools you can use for people in all kinds of circumstances or situations or faith journeys. But it just, there's just that extra kind of step up of how to involve the Holy Spirit in it, which I think is why I'm so excited about that bit. Also, just really excellent training in what coaching is and how to be a good coach and facilitate good sessions, and lots of different things in the toolkit to use along the way. So I think when it comes to helping people kind of listen to or be coached from their heart rather than their head, that's been quite eye-opening to me as well, because I think before I might have asked something around that, but more like trying to find out, is this person more of a head person than a heart person, or the other way round, and then just kind of dealing with what that means going forward, not necessarily always then thinking, oh, okay, let's see if we can get to the heart then. Whereas the Destiny Coaching model has definitely shown me, let's just get to the heart straight away and see what we see how that person needs that to happen and where we go from there. I think it has been quite different from what I was doing before actually. I think I used a lot less metaphor, or I kind of strayed away from anything that I thought people might not be used to, or that they might find a funny question. But then I realised that's me worrying about their reaction to me, not us getting to the crux of what's actually going on. So I'm definitely will ask all kinds of questions before that I might have thought was a bit weird because actually I know that it's going to get us somewhere good. So if you're a professional coach and you're considering doing something with Destiny Coaching, I would say please do go for it and look into what else it offers on top of what you might already know, because yes, there's going to be some stuff that it's going to go over and isn't new to you, but the amount of extra things that it brings and teaching you how to get the Holy Spirit and all the heart stuff right in the centre of things is just quite incredible. It's transformed the way that I do my coaching and made every session that I do with people much more exciting and transformational. So the future for me, I think I'm trying not to rebel against having a niche anymore. You're also teaching me that. And
really? Wow.
Yeah, I had some coaching. The last call that we were on, I actually said to my partner, all right, we just need to ask God whether I'm going for these two niches that I've been pushing away from. So I'm looking into doing more group coaching for Christians, primarily who work on staff team at churches, and considering doing some packages for people who are going through or have recently been divorced. But yeah, I'm mostly just excited to tell everyone about this way of coaching now. It's what I bring up as the main selling point all the time. Just great, I can't stop talking about it.